Yeah. Here's the thing that I like about you is you don't give a shit.
Not for this bullshit. What the fuck is a podcast? Who actually cares? Motherfuckers turn this shit on and do the dishes.
I have to go. I have to literally go.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. We are back here. Second episode.
Second episode. Thanks for
tipping. I'm Tim Chantarangsu.
I'm Megan Batoon.
Today, we might actually answer a couple of you guys' questions.
Maybe. But free will exists, so who knows?
Free will exists. Free Willy is a movie about a whale with a good soundtrack.
True. Have you ever seen those movies where they play the orchestra underneath them?
Like while you're watching the movie?
Yes, you watch the movie on big screen and then they have a full actual live orchestra playing underneath the soundtrack.
That's fun.
It's lit.
Really? What
Yes.
movie do you do that for?
I think Free Willy.
That's your line.
Or it was something that was like whale adjacent. But that's what I remember.
There's only Free Willy.
No, there's like Blackfish or something like that. I don't know. There was something else that I saw with a live orchestra and I was like, this is amazing. Anytime there's an orchestra, I'm crying.
I saw you watch Game of Thrones?
I didn't.
Right,
I saw the Starbucks cup thing though.
Well, so I did me and Chi are very heavy Game of Thrones people.
Okay.
And they did a thing where it was an orchestra playing the music from Game of Thrones, and then they would like play like clips where you like the score would line up with the clips and shit like that.
Cool.
And there was a very dramatic episode. And the orchestra's playing, and the climax of the episode is like the city, spoiler alert, the city gets blown up by this like green explosion. All right. So anyway,
it's giving Wicked.
It's very much giving Wicked, yeah. But we had these. I paid for these fucking VIP up in the very front. You right nose to the sticks that they're using to play the cellos are poking you in the nostrils and shit. All right.
That's how close you are.
That's how close we're there.
Yeah.
And the music, you feel it building up,
Mhm.
right? It's going. And then we're like, oh shit. And then it hits the climax. We're like, what the fuck? We turn around. The green explosion happened behind us, around. We were too close.
Oh.
We were too close. The cool shit happened like around us. We were like, oh shit. We missed the
Oh
whole
man.
thing. But it was great. You should watch Game of Thrones. It's a good show.
It's giving Icarus. Too close to the green.
Too close. You know what, Megan Batoon? Now that you bring that up.
What, Icarus?
Icarus is a very, I feel like
Here we go.
I relate the most
To Icarus?
to people that share the Icarus like timeline. You feel me? As whenever I watch a movie, the ones that resonate with me the most, and they happen to be musicals, are The Greatest Showman.
I'm like looking at the time. We're only 2 minutes in. I could talk an hour about The Greatest Showman.
Well,
I think it's phenomenal.
let's fucking go.
And so many people don't. I'm so surprised that you do like it. Well, now knowing that you like musicals, so many people don't like that movie.
Megan Batoon, let's fucking go. Right after I make this point, we're gonna fucking go off.
Let's hear it.
The Greatest Showman and Hamilton
Okay.
and Icarus
Uh-huh.
are constant reminders of me, of figures in history, even though, yes, the Barnum story is embellished in The Greatest Showman, right? But of people who are constantly chasing success
Mhm.
and neglecting like their true priorities, and you're trying to get too close to the sun and your fucking wings melt off and you regret it. So I'm constantly, even in Hamilton, she sings, she's like, her sister says to Eliza, you married an Icarus, he's flying too close to the sun. And it's like all these characters who make me remind myself, yes, you are thirsty for success and you're constantly chasing this shit and you're never satisfied. But I'm always reminding myself of what am I working for? And these characters are people that like put it in perspective for me, where I'm always like, okay, take a step back and look at the why as opposed to what you're doing and like what are you working for? And so it helps me maintain a balance. You feel me?
Yeah, I really feel that, especially with Hamilton. Like, why do you write? Like, you're running out of time.
Yeah,
and it's like he's so obsessed with this, but he does incredible work. When there's that one song where he's listing all of the things that he wrote, which is like exorbitantly more than everybody else.
Yeah.
So, like, what I'm interested in this is like, what is driving you? What do you think is the thing that's inside of you that makes you want to achieve so much that you're never satisfied?
Yeah. you know what? I don't know, man. I've just always, from the jump, I've always felt like there's so much that I wanted to do. And I think there was like this like checklist of things, you know, at its like height is like win an Academy Award. You know what I'm saying? And if it's like, if I want to be in this category that I see myself in, then it's like, I have a lot of shit I need to do, right? At the very least, do movies, you know what I'm saying? And like, even though in the time span of like being an entertainer online and doing TV shit, you know, like we said, I've been on YouTube for like 18 years, right? Damn near almost 20 years. I've done well, but there's still things I haven't checked off my list yet, right?
Which are these accolades of...
These accolades.
Okay, and what do those accolades represent?
What do they represent? For me, I mean, aside from like, you know, when you do internet shit, of course, there's always a stigma of, oh, you're just an internet person.
I know,
so I like
right?
almost like a, you know, like affirming for myself, like I'm more than just an internet entertainer.
100%.
Which is like, you know, overall, it's like, who cares? Because, you know, everyone in traditional is trying to do internet shit now, right?
100%.
But then for me, it's like, nah, I'm more than just an internet dude, right?
Totally.
And also, it's like, as far as, you know, representing for Asian dudes and, you know, like, yeah, I've done well for myself as an Asian dude online, but I'm like, I feel like there's so much more to be done still in the mainstream for an Asian dude. You know what I'm saying? So there's like just a lot I want to do.
Representation.
For representation. And, you know, like, I mean, of course, let's be real, you know, for my own ego, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's things I just want to do and I want to keep working towards. And I never really felt the pressure of like writing like I'm running out of time until I started getting gray hairs and shit. And now I'm like, not only am I getting grays, I have children, so I can't put in as much time into my work as I'd like to.
Right.
So now I'm like, while I still look good, I'm not trying to fucking do a movie about me being 50. I'm trying to do a movie about me being 20 while I'm 30, but pretending like I'm 20. You know what I'm saying?
But you can still do that when you're 50, pretending you're 40, when you're 60, pretending you're 50.
I don't want to do a 50 pretending I'm 40. I want to do a 30 pretending I'm 20.
And you can do that now, and then you can do the other ones later.
And that's what I'm doing.
And that's what I'm doing. Here's the thing that I think about YouTube is like, I do think that people think that, oh, you just make YouTube videos and like anyone can do that.
Mhm.
However, I had this tenant that was living in my house and we were filming a video. I was doing a collab with another like DIY group. And they were like, we had no idea that it took this much effort and this much time. We were filming for 12 hours per day. And I think that like when people watch YouTube, because it's like, oh, we're watching this kid in their room, that like, I don't know. I just feel like people probably think it's way less work than it actually is.
Right.
So when I'm thinking, oh, if you get a show on HBO or Netflix or whatever, how cool is that? Because you're now in traditional media, but you're only showing up as talent.
Yeah.
Whereas for our channels, we are writing, we're editing, we're producing, we're show running, we're acting, we're like, what are you taught? We're coloring. Like, what are you taught? Like, actually, give us our flowers.
Give us the motherfucking flowers, because you know when you've been on mainstream sets, which we both have been on, you do your shit and you go to your trailer and fuck off for 3 hours while they set up. You know what I'm saying?
And you have no say in anything. You say your lines, you look pretty, and then you go, which is awesome. It's definitely a cool job when you can get cast.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is like what we were talking about in the first episode. Is just like doing shit yourself. Like taking your future into your own hands, which is what I feel like I've always had to do because people have either not supported me or not believed in me. And it's like, okay, I'm going to go do it by myself.
Watch this.
Watch this.
Watch this.
Watch this. 5, 6, 7, 8.
I thought you were about to say your phone number right now. I'm like, damn, but dude, let them know.
Oh,
Call
shit.
me.
Call
if you want
me.
to talk shit, 562.
Oh, I wish my phone number ended in 5, 6, 7, 8. That'd be epic.
As a dancer?
Yes.
Well, The Greatest Showman, speaking of music, The Greatest Showman is fire. I fucking love it. I put that shit on when
I love
I'm
it.
all like literally all the time,
Literally.
bruv.
I love it.
Literally all the fucking time, bruv. I think people's main issue, a lot of people have issues.
This is working for you, by the way.
What?
This like British accent, or would you call this British?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Right.
That's it?
In it. Thank you, in it.
There's only a specific amount we can get before you just
Right,
turn back into
before
Tim.
I just go, hey, can we have some tea and crumpets?
It's an exponential graph.
unless I want to go into like the London Mandem, bruv. Right, where it's like, poof, poof, the Mandem, bruv. You know, yeah.
Can you rap in that accent?
Eat some pum with the Mandem, some, and we do it tandem. Tuck team of bitch with the Mandem.
Hey.
High five when we do it as a tandem.
Hey. Wait, I'm not concerned. Yeah. I am very interested in, because I do not freestyle whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
So I'm so interested in how your brain goes. Like, how are you thinking of what you're going to say next? Do you start with like the thing that you're going to rhyme with? Or what's the thought process that's going on in your brain?
So my shit's either great or it's trash.
Okay.
When it's great, I'm able to enter a zone where I see, let's say I'm like saying soda, right? And then the next word pops up and it's like quota. You feel me? The word pops up first. And then ideally, I can connect them in that process.
Whoa.
So it's like blah, blah, blah. Sipping on a soda. Only Asian dude and wilding out. They had to meet their quota. You feel me?
Sick.
And it's like, hopefully, I can do it seamlessly.
Right.
But then it's like where it's a trash freestyle, I'm playing catch up. And it's like, I'm just kind of like, what's the next word? And I'm like struggling to connect them. You feel me? And it's like, I don't even know what the next word is. But when I've been in the zone and the shit's really like clicking and connecting, then it's like, oh, okay. It's almost like I see it coming and it's like, the process is like, it's like fusing. You know what I mean? And then it hits.
It's like channeling.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so what happens when you're not in the zone and you're like grasping for, have you ever been on air, like on Wild and Out, and you're like trying to get to that point and you are like, I'm not doing well?
That happens more so for me when people are like, I'm doing like a radio interview or a podcast interview and they're like, oh, let's hit a freestyle. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And then, you know, the easiest thing for me in that situation is to, you know, the shit that gets the best reviews. Check this out. Okay, if you guys are ever freestyling on a radio show, let's
that's so relatable.
Let's say this. If you're ever freestyling on a radio show, immediately go in. Title of the podcast of the radio show,
Work.
Title of the co-host,
Work.
Where you're at,
Work.
Go in with that in your head. So then it's like, then you can be like, bang, bang, Modelo,
Totally.
we sipping, here we make it a tune, thanks for tipping.
Hey!
I hope I see you soon, come to my house later, make a platoon. Look into my eyes, she got curly hair like these curly fries, and say shit like that, and people are like,
What was the first time that you were like that with somebody else? Where you were just like taken aback with like, how can they think so fast? How is this even happening?
Man,
do you remember that moment? When is the first time that you were like mind blown by somebody's talent, whether that is freestyling or anything else?
You know what? I used to watch a lot of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Wayne Brady?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you faced him down on our cut interview.
I know.
Whoa.
So it's like Whose Line Is It Anyway used to be like my shit.
Totally.
You know? And I would watch every week and I used to just be mind blown at like not only Wayne Brady coming up with funny songs on the fly, but also just like all them dudes, you know, like their jokes and like
so good.
Yeah.
That was really the only improv show there ever was, I think.
That was, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, probably. It's like Whose Line and Wildin' Out. You know,
so fun.
So fun.
And here's the thing: is since anything can happen, you can literally make those shows on your channel.
That's facts. I've thought about it.
But anyway, we should
How
probably.
about you?
What about me?
When you were blown away by somebody's just God-given talent, and you were like mesmerized and being like, "Whoa."
I mean, it was probably Bo Burnham. I remember talking to him backstage actually one time, and it was really, really insightful for me as somebody who's like loves a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying, well, maybe I shouldn't say this because it was a conversation that was like in private.
Yeah.
But basically, like, you can do everything that you are and make that one thing instead of being a specific, like being great at dance and great at design. It's like, okay, well, why don't I just be whatever I am at both. Like, why
Mhm.
don't I just mix the two things and become my own niche?
And then people are like, "Oh, you're batooning right now. You're dancing and singing and designing."
Right. It's just like, but like, why can't you? When I think about Donald Glover, I'm going to talk about him all the time with
Yeah.
like being nicheless. Like he does so many different things: comedy, music. He has a boba shop. Like he has so many other things. And why
has a
can't
boba
we
shop.
do a boba shop? Why can't we do all of it? I
Well-
hate when people like do one thing. I want to kill myself.
And that's and that's why so Chia didn't know that everyone knows that Will Smith is like one of my people I look up to, right?
Uh-huh.
But Chia didn't know that aside from Will Smith, like I'm such a huge Jamie Foxx fan.
Jamie Foxx.
Because from the jump, before Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, who I also love, right? And respect. Jamie Foxx was the first, I feel like, comedian who did music that people respected. Who they were like, oh, this fucking comedian is trying to do music. Like he did good music. He did comedy. He fucking won an Academy Award for acting. And then was still like a month later, I'd see him on Instagram like hosting a party in Vegas and like be twerking on somebody or like be grinding on somebody. I'm like, this motherfucker is complex and he knows it and he owns it and he does everything and he's good at it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there's no pigeonholing him, you know? And one of my favorite Bo Burnham lines from one of the first YouTube videos I saw of him that made me a fan is when he says, go into a vagina orchard, spin it around 3 times, and that's a third world cunt tree.
Wow.
And I was like, yo,
Yeah.
bars. Ridiculous.
Like the wordplay is insane. Even sometimes like to this day, I'll be like, oh, I'll listen to a song that he made 10 years ago and be like, wow.
The man got bars.
I'm just...
He could have been a rapper.
100%.
Yeah.
And a white boy rapper? Yum.
Yum.
I love white boys. Why do I love white boys so much?
You've been indoctrinated.
I need help. I need like a conversion therapy.
Your brain's been colonized and indoctrinated. It's not your fault. It's the media's fault, and that's okay.
It's the media's fault. It's John Smith's fault.
It's fucking John Smith.
It's John Smith. I just like a nerdy boy. Like a friend of mine, one of my closest friends from high school was like, your type is someone that can't survive a night outside. And I was like, you're right.
And that's funny because I was going to ask because of their physicality or because of their anxiety. And I think it's both. I didn't even have to ask because it's both. Because I've seen the guys you like and it's both.
Why is it like that?
Oh, man.
I like them. I like the nervous, neurotic Jewish boys. And I can't help it. And I wish I could.
That's okay. You're allowed to like what you like.
Whatever.
That's okay. I'm not judging. I'm listening and I'm not judging.
Okay, TikTok.
I'm judging a little bit. But that's okay. I think that's one of the benefits of being just like crazy horny is I don't have a type.
You're saying you're crazy horny, so you like everybody?
Not everybody, but I definitely, I think a lot of people can say, personality wise, you're attracted to a lot of things. Physically, I have a like crazy spectrum of what I find attractive.
Sure.
You feel me? And I'm very just attracted to different people for different reasons,
What do you think you're the most attracted to in like another person, whether it's...
You talking about physically or...
I get no, not physically.
At its core, I love a fun sense of humor. That's what turns me on the most. Like
that's what turns everyone on the most. There's that song. They're saying that's like if you can make a girl laugh, you can make her come.
Well, yeah,
it's true, but it's like I wrote down a list of like here's what I want my husband to be, and it was all of these qualities, and then I met that person, and then I was like, I'm bored.
They're not funny.
And a friend of mine was like, you just didn't finish the list. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, fire.
And he's a songwriter.
And what was missing on the list?
I think it was like one, friendship and fun. Like, and just like humor. I think like laughing is so, so, so important to me.
I think, when we make lists like that, you're making them for very specific reasons.
Yeah.
Like, let me list out the things I want in a wife, right? And it's like, I think... Check this out. I think if people were to be given, what's your list of things you want in a husband and wife, and then what's your list of things you want in you're dating for fun right now, it'd be very different.
Totally.
But it's like, if you truly want to be happy,
right,
you gotta mix them together.
You gotta.
I've always talked about as a short man, you gotta be able to joke the panties off. You know what I'm saying? And I've said this multiple times on my multiple podcasts. Like, I'm not the guy that walks into a room and a girl's like, I want to fuck this guy, but give me 10 minutes, buy
Right.
the fucking guacamole and the chips, and a girl's like, I might fuck this guy. You know, I might just fuck this guy.
The entree? Tim Chantarangsu.
and I think, and here's what's funny that you bring this up. I think as a dude, when I say I want a girl with a sense of humor,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily someone that makes me laugh. If she gets my jokes, that's like points on the sense of humor board.
Totally.
Yeah, if she can make me laugh, that's great. But I think the first little bells for me, it's like, oh, she got that joke? She got that joke where it's like, I would have had to explain this to 80% of the people in the room. She's laughing and she knows why she's laughing.
Right.
Rare.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Because I'm so fucking funny.
I'm so funny. Yeah,
and you can't appreciate that.
Then get out of here.
Yeah.
You're not the one for me.
My penis is dry.
It's actually going inside. It's reverse bonering.
Yeah, man. All right, should we answer questions or what?
Let's answer some questions.
Let's go. We might even do this shit live on future episodes,
I
guys.
really hope so. And
Isn't
I
that
think
fun?
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, who should we help?
Let's help.
Let's help your younger self while I look for this.
Younger self. Young Tim.
If you could, when did you start your channel?
2006.
When you were how old? As a mid-30s person, what would you tell your 20-year-old self
Yeah.
of advice?
As a late 20s person, I would tell my teenager self, hey, man, keep doing what you're doing.
100%.
You are right
You are right in what way?
in that everything you thought would happen is happening.
Work.
Just, I think what I did learn over the years, which I would tell myself, is that you are heading in the right direction. You might not get to where you think you're going when you think you'll get there.
Right.
But you should keep moving forward because it is worth it.
And here's the other thing about that is I think it's okay to take breaks. I think you can continue to put effort into the direction of your goals, but thinking that like you just need to keep going, especially with the consistency thing of YouTubing, is I feel very vehemently about I feel pushback on like, let me do what I want to do when I want to do it. Instead of being on such a timeline. And maybe that's like an ADHD thing of just being like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I want to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But like, if you put little by little effort into the direction of your dreams, and even if you take a break when you need to and get back to it when you want to, you're always on the right time.
Yeah, man. I think the important thing is that you just keep moving forward, even if it's baby steps. You know what I'm saying?
The whole thing is baby steps.
Mhm.
There's like a saying, one of my friends is in like a 12-step program that's like one of the sayings is like, we can't see around corners. And I love that because like, yeah, we have no idea what's next, but what we do know and what we are in control of is the next step that we take in the direction that we want to go. We have no idea what this is going to become 5 years, 5 months from now. But all we know is we can take the next step and see where that lands us.
It's all you can fucking do.
It literally is. Like, I don't know. I plan a lot. I saw this Mr. Beast thing that was like, he was like, I plan in decades, not years. And I was like, work. And so like, I got this journal and I was like, okay, 10-year plan. And it is helpful to decide where I want to go in 10 years. But at the same time, it feels, I don't know. I feel like just like go where it's warm and figure it out as you figure it out.
I mean, for me, 10 years feels crazy.
10 years is crazy.
What's funny is because I think for me, it was always like, the plan is movie star, superstar.
Yeah.
So that's like 20-year plan, right? But as far as like 10 years from now, I'm like, that's overwhelming to me.
But here's the thing, with 20 years, movie star, superstar, and with the way that the internet is going and the platform that you've built in the past 10 years, why? This is what I'm literally on the drive here. I was like, wait a second. I think YouTube could be like practice for TV.
Mhm.
So like, why can't we make stuff on YouTube that is like getting us ready to make bigger films, bigger
Batoon,
shows?
look what you just did.
What did I do?
You just brought it full circle.
Oh my God, look at
Because,
me.
Look, you know how I talked about when a freestyle hits,
Hey.
I find that next word.
Yes.
And it's all about making it connect in the right way.
Yes.
I've always had the next word ready to go. This whole process has just been me finding the right ways to make it connect. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna be a fucking famous movie star.
Yeah.
I know that.
Uh-huh.
But this whole shit has been me taking the right steps in that direction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And making it click together the way it needs to.
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Wow.
I really do know that. Okay. And now that we've talked 30 minutes about ourselves.
Now that we've figured out our own lives, finally, let's help y'all out a little bit.
You've never had burnout, so I'm going to skip this question. It's wild because like all the other people that came up with you, OG style, kind of don't make videos anymore.
No.
So what do you think about that?
I think it goes back to what we initially said, where it's like, you got to enjoy what you're doing. You can't get caught in the hamster wheel of creating and numbers and shit like that. And I've also, like we said, man, let's take Niga Higa, for example.
Yes, let's.
Somebody who has been in the space as long as I have, who was constantly creating fire content.
So good.
So good, right?
So, like, truly genius.
Yeah, where I'd watch this shit, I'm like, how does he come up with this shit? This is so great. And I think for him, a couple things. He didn't really want to be a like movie mainstream traditional entertainment person. He was like, I'm good making YouTube videos. So for him, he was like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And he also was feeling like, I think I've done all that I can, right? And he just didn't want to anymore, so he stopped. I think for me, not only do I really enjoyed what I was doing, and you know, the fact that I felt like I was working towards something else, I didn't feel like I had a healthy dose of I'm not satisfied yet, so I kept going. But I also like since I didn't feel like it was a priority for me, I didn't feel like I was like under pressure to keep doing it, you know? So I feel like I'm doing this YouTube shit and it's still fun for me.
Like on the side while you're building your bigger dream.
Yeah. And like Ryan, I think he just had like so much pressure. Like everyone always wanted these like amazing videos from him every week. And he was like, you know what? I'm kind of over it. Totally. I've made so much money. Like what the fuck for? You know what I'm saying? So he's chilling. He's chilling and he has a nice house in Vegas. He's chilling. You know?
Love that.
His family's taken care of. He's chilling.
He's chilling.
I just, and I think if you want to compare me and Ryan doesn't really have an ego. You know what I'm saying? He was making shit because it was fun. I'm still, to an extent, trying to feed my ego
100%.
and things I want to, do for myself.
Yeah.
And prove to myself.
What are you trying to prove to yourself?
That I can do everything I told myself I was going to do.
You don't think you can?
I know I can.
I know you can.
And that's why I'm still working.
Yeah.
You know?
But the proving is interesting because it's almost like inevitable. Like I believe that's going to happen. So you're just like telling yourself, I'm waiting for that to happen just to be like, it happened?
No, I'm telling myself I need to keep working so I can make it happen. You know? Because I think that's the difference. Motherfuckers can be like, oh, I know I'm meant for amazing things and not do shit. And then it's like, oh, wait, oh, never mind.
Right.
Or you can tell yourself, oh, I'm meant to do this. And then you can
put in the work.
And you can put in the work.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if that work is like tiny little bits, like it really does. The thing that trips me up sometimes is thinking just literally about time. It's like I have one room in my house, my design studio, where I was taking so long to renovate it because I was just like, this is taking fucking forever.
Yeah.
My dad was like, just do like 1 hour a day. And I finished it like 6 months ago. And I'm like, I remember 6 months ago when I was like, this will never be done.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting that it's just like, if you just take a little step forward, it will be done. Your dreams will happen if you put in the work. And you just have to not stop. And if you stop, start again when you're ready. Like you are okay to take breaks. Breaks are okay.
They're okay. I take so many breaks.
I take so many breaks. I took a 2-year break from working. I used to think that breaks were lazy.
That's the beauty of
That's not it.
That's the beauty of The Greatest Showman is that when you realize what can be the downfall of constantly chasing
Right.
without a break, and you realize like, okay, you know, I did all this and I'm still fucking depressed.
Right.
And I didn't get to enjoy any of it. Then you remind yourself, okay, let me enjoy myself a little bit so you can actually, and I think that's why I didn't burn out. I always took a step back to really, truly enjoy myself. I think one time, Megan Batoon, I was at a fucking, it was either Coachella or some concert, and I was like, man, do I need to be paying for all this just to be in this little fucking VIP section? I was with Benji. I was like, do I need to pay this much to be in this fucking section? I don't know if I need to be doing all that. Benji was like, no, what the fuck do you work for? I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right, man. What am I working for?
Also, just DM them and be like, can I get in?
And there's that too.
No, but really, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you're right, man. Let me fucking treat myself.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes you forget. You get so caught up in the hamster wheel, constantly running. You forget to take a second to a little sip from the little hamster little thing that's hanging down and get a little water.
A little.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this hamster wheel's crazy. Speaking of other people that might be in the hamster wheel, ready to answer our first question?
I dribbled on myself.
This is interesting. I did not read this before, literally right now.
All right.
This is entering my 30s and finding hobbies that stick.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you have any hobbies. Here's my issue is all of my hobbies become parts of my job. Like even right now, I love drumming.
Yeah.
And like we're talking about doing a live show in the future. I'm already drumming the intro. So like I actually don't know what a hobby is. Now, interior design, it's my job. I started doing that because it was fun on YouTube. Like, I don't know what a hobby is that does not become a job.
Yeah, I think we're interesting people to answer this question.
Yeah.
Because even like for me, right? If I'm like, yo, this is a hobby I enjoy, and this is so influencer of me, but I'm like,
make a business.
How can I monetize it?
100%.
Right.
But here's the thing about entrepreneurship. In this octave, is I'm also in Oklahoma. That's kind of what entrepreneurship is, right?
Yeah.
It's like trying and failing a bunch of different ideas until something sticks.
You want to hear some crazy shit?
Yes, I do.
A friend of a friend would go on TikTok.
R.I.P.
And
maybe.
Who knows, right? Live stream her bingo nights. Not even on her face, on her fucking bingo cards. Every week she would go to bingo, which what she would do, she liked to do, live stream her bingo nights, and her engagement was crazy because anyone who stumbled upon her, they wanted to see if she would hit bingo. She started to get these like followings. Now, TikTok pays her a bag every month to live stream her fucking bingo nights. Like I think it's like $6,000 a month they pay her to fucking live stream her bingo.
Signing up right now for the next bingo course.
I'd be like, should I play Minesweeper on TikTok Live?
Like, what the fuck? Why not?
Yeah.
Like, we literally need to play a video game right now.
If we talking about the shit that I like to do, I like, yo, look.
Yeah, what are your hobbies right now that are not monetizable?
Well, here's what's fucked up. The things I like. Here's what's fucking fucked up. The things that I like to do are things that I like. I can't really do anymore as a father of a couple babies.
Sure.
Which is like, I used to love going to movies all the time.
Why can't you go to a movie?
Well, here's the thing.
It's like 3 hours and nanny vibes.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's like,
why can't you bring them to the movies? They're too young?
No. That's not fun. That's not fun for me. Because when I'm watching a movie, I'm locked in.
You got to get a theater in your house. Why don't you have that?
That's not going to work.
Aren't you rich?
I want to watch new movies in theaters. I like the part of enjoying watching movies is the theater experience.
Sure.
I want to get popcorn. I want to get some wine. I want to sit in a sticky seat.
Oh, like iPic.
Yeah. And I want to fucking watch a big ass screen. I want to enjoy that shit.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it with the babies because for one, I'm not going to take my babies to the movie theater. And for two, it's like.
They don't deserve media.
They don't deserve it. Well, no, and it's like, if well, if let's say we have a nanny, right? But
Yeah.
if we have the nanny, like we don't necessarily want to leave the nanny with both babies as they're sleeping. It's just something like, we don't want to leave the babies while they're sleeping. We want to be there, one of us at least.
Aw.
So, but what I have been able to do now recently is like, well, my whole vibe is like 9 a.m. movies now. Drop Veda off at school. There's a theater not too far from her school. When the Ninja Turtle movie came out,
Really?
and Joker Folie à Deux, I fucking sat my ass in the theater at 9 a.m. by myself, watched that shit, and I don't know, it was over at like 1, and then I maybe get a little snack and then go pick her up from school. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. But
okay, so it's more so of like a personal self-care, I love you, Tim vibe is going to the movies.
Yeah. It's like a whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can watch the movie 6 months later on streaming, which is great. I still like doing that, but it's just different.
Yeah.
And I also, my shit was, and this is talking about like grown Tim before babies, movies, and trying new restaurants.
Trying new restaurants.
And those two things are just not things you can really do when you have young ass babies.
Okay, here's a crazy question.
Yeah.
And it's not one that you asked, but it's one that I'm asking.
All right.
I know that restaurants are not a great like business model. However, since you love restaurants and you love food and half of your content is about food, would you ever open up a restaurant? Or like a food line of any sort?
Yeah. So that's funny that you said that, Megan Batum. That's something I have jotted down.
Interesting.
I have concepts. I
should be on your team.
You should. Well, I don't know why you're not.
I should run your social media. Sometimes I was like, if everything goes south, I will like edit for a YouTuber.
That's so funny because I always said if things went south for me, I would like hit up my contacts at MTV and be like, do y'all like I know how to produce,
right?
Because of what you said earlier, as far as like YouTubers having to do everything ourselves. I'm like, I can produce, I can fucking coordinate talent,
right?
I can write, but. Yes, I have restaurant things in my back pocket, but because my family had a Thai food restaurant for 20 years, I know how much of a commitment that is, or it can be.
Right.
So I'm not trying to do all that until I have time for it.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, your feet are out. You're comfy.
My feet are out. Yeah. You can give money if you want.
Well, they're not gonna give money for those socks.
Here's the thing, and we briefly mentioned this in a previous episode that never came out, but I don't see the issue with selling feet pics. Like, I understand that, like, maybe it's like different.
Yeah.
They're literally feet. I'm going to die. They're right there. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even care what you do with the feet.
Take your sock off right now.
For how much? How much money will you give me to take my sock off? Here's the thing. Everything has a price.
I will give you whatever's in my wallet right now.
Okay, well, let's see, big money.
How about this? How about you gamble? Is it worth it?
Is it worth it to show my feet are already on the internet, but I would love to take your money.
Let me see if I have any money in my wallet. Okay.
He's counting his money if you're not watching.
No, I'm not going to tell you how much I have.
What if it's like $500? I think you probably have like but here's the thing, no one carries cash anymore. So I think that you probably have, I don't know, $65.
Is it worth the gamble? Are you gonna take your left foot out right now?
I will, if no matter what you give me the money in your wallet.
I promise you. Hold on. I will give you.
Sounds like there's at least 3 or 4 bills in there.
I will give you.
So I don't think they're ones.
I will give you the cash in my wallet right now if you take your sock off and show the world your left foot.
I'll take that.
Bang, bang.
Okay, how much money do I get? This is my first foot transaction. Bitch, are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God.
There's nothing.
How did you?
Nothing.
How did it make it sound like there was at least 4 bills in there?
Because you know why? Because there's a receipt. And there is a...
Wow, Tim Chantarangsu's broke, everyone.
And there's a warranty for Disney on Ice.
Broke, boys.
Broke 5, broke.
Broke boys get no toes.
Well, guess what, my guys? I got you. You got the toes for free. Let's go.
For now. Yeah. Every live show, I'll just be barefoot.
No, but look, Batoon, look, there's levels to the feet shit. You could, if you were like oiling up your feet, lotioning up your feet. If you got like fresh like manis and shit, or what's feet? Petties?
Yeah.
Petties. You could make bank off your toes
How much?
and feet. I've seen ridiculous numbers of girls like
How
much,
have you seen this?
a girl on, it was like a TikTok that went viral. She was like, I made this much just selling feet pictures, and it was crazy. And she wasn't even like a celebrity or anything.
Here's the big issue: is like person to person,
Yeah,
human to human,
yeah,
not internet person to not internet person,
Yeah.
like true humans.
yeah.
Their feet. Who cares?
I
Right?
don't see the issue.
But the fact that it's like a foot fetish, and
I
then
mean,
it's like, it's like, what the fuck? It's a foot.
if you're comfortable with people like jerking off to your
Who
feet,
cares as long as the money's in my account?
Look,
I
'cause-
don't care what you
okay,
do.
here's the thing: people are jacking off to your face,
Right.
and you got that shit on display all day.
All day for free.
Okay, so look, I used to say, who cares about feet for me? Until one day a dude was in my DMs and he's like, I would love to pay you just to like massage your feet one day. And I was like, this is weird. But that was like touching my feet. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a difference.
I feel like Batoon, as a woman, it's so, like I think you have your, man feet are different than women feet.
I guess I just don't understand why it's gross.
I don't think it's gross for you to sell pictures of your feet or have pictures of your feet. I don't think that's gross. I recently just had a piece of glass removed from my foot.
No, I saw. What happened?
I don't know, man. I was walking around my house, and I don't know, because we don't wear shoes in our house, so I don't know how this fucking piece of glass even got into the crib.
Asians.
But I was walking around, I was literally about to go somewhere, and I was walking around to get some socks, and I stepped on something. I went, ah! And then I went to the side, and there was a piece of glass, and I was like, and there was a little tiny piece of glass in my heel. Chia tried to tweeze it out and she missed it. It just kind of went back in there. And then I was like, fuck it. I gotta go. I had to go. And then it kind of healed. It scabbed over. So the fucking glass was just in there. And I'm Googling, can I leave a piece of glass in my foot? Can I just let this shit meld with my body and live forever?
Oh my God, you're a new superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Glassman.
Rick Glassman. Yeah.
Whoa,
And,
nice.
And I was looking and it said it might be fine. It might work its way out. So I was like, all right, fuck it. And then we went to Disney on Ice the other day. I was carrying Veda and I felt this fucking sharp pain randomly. I was like, ah! And then I was like, I got to get this shit out. So I made an appointment, urgent care. They numb me up with some lidocaine. And then the doctors...
I love a drug.
It's great. The doctors, they numb me up with some lidocaine. I fucking popped a molly. I was in there. Me and the doctor are kissing on each other. He took some tweezers. He's digging in there. I can't feel shit. And this glass was way bigger than what I thought it initially was.
What was the piece of glass from? Like
Dog,
a Tupperware or something?
I don't even know, man. But I'm glad I went because this shit was way bigger than what I anticipated. So now I'm good. I'm bandaged up. I'm chilling. But that shit was fucked up.
Damn.
Yeah. But I say all that to say, guys' feet is yucky. It has glass in it. It is yucky. Your feet, I'm sure you would make a lot of money selling feet. You should
make more than $0, which is the amount that I just made by bearing them to the internet.
Curly fries and Modelo's.
That's true. Thank you.
How about that?
Oh, here's an interesting question. Life in your 30s versus 20s and the shift in dynamic and priorities.
I couldn't tell you.
What do you mean you couldn't tell me?
I'm not 30 yet. So
I feel like in my 20s, it's so interesting because people will be like, oh, 20s is when you're just like hanging out, living life. 30s is when you like buckle down. I feel the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I feel like my 20s were only grinding.
Mhm.
And the first time I ever took a break in my life was 30. Like right when the pandemic hit, it was almost like permission to just chill out for a second and really ask yourself what you like, what you're into, and how you want to move forward in general.
I don't think people realize how lit your 30s are.
30s is pretty sick.
Because when you're growing up, right? And I don't know how true this is for the current generation of youths and teens, but growing up with us in a TV generation, you look at 25 as like you should be married with kids. You're done. That's life. Until you're actually in college, and then you're like 23, and you're like, what the fuck? I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything.
Right.
You know. So then I think your mid 20s are like, yo, yeah, I'm free, but I'm also broke as shit.
Right.
Like, I don't know, like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? And college, yeah, you're fucking around, you're getting to know yourself. You're figuring out what you're gonna do with your life. You're definitely not married. Like, I would not recommend getting married before like 25.
That would be what literally a 24-year-old asked me out last week. And I was like, what do you want to do right now? What is your plan? What is your plan?
And what did he want to do?
24. I don't know. We haven't talked yet because he's out of town for the holidays.
Or does he just want to smash? In which case, you're cool with
Honestly,
that.
I'm not against that.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm emotionally unavailable and like, ah, you're cute.
That's
but,
ideal for like
100%.
You and him.
Right. Exactly. But like 24?
Unless he's one of these dumbass 24-year-olds who's like trying to marry you.
Who's to say? Well, only time will tell.
But yeah, man, 20s is like, you know, you think you're supposed to be grown, so you get a lot of anxiety from that shit. But 100%, you should be taking that time to continue to build and figure things out. I think early 30s is fun. You're either figured it out or you're figuring it out. You got a little bit of money. You like have you've either had a big breakup or you're in a solid relationship. I always tell people I'm so glad I had like a major relationship from like 21 to 25, and then that ended, and then I was like, and it happened to coincide with when I was kind of starting to pop on YouTube, so I was like, oh, I can go crazy. Well, I hope we helped.
I hope we helped. You said literally nothing. Wait, what do you think the difference between your 20s and 30s were? 20s is you don't know anything, and 30s is you have money. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Kind of sort of 20s is you think you're supposed to be established, but you're not, and you're a little lost, but you're allowed to, I feel like you're allowed to be lost, right? 30s, I feel like you've realized that is not the truth. And you're okay with that, whether you're married or not, whether you're, but you're there now. You know, I feel like 30s is the real, like, I'm fucking grown. You know what I'm saying? And you're okay with not having done everything that people told you were supposed to do. So you're more like accepting of who you are as a person and where your life is at.
Right.
And I think that is where it gives you the freedom to really be happy.
I agree. I really do agree with the coming to yourself after. I don't know how like astrology ridden you are. Do you know anything about Saturn return?
No. Okay,
so basically in around 27 to 30, you have something called a Saturn return, which is where Saturn returns back into the same place in the ether that you were born.
Okay.
So basically it's a full circle of what your inherent truth is.
Where you're sad and return.
That's right. Yeah, so basically shit falls apart when you're like 30 of what's not working for you into getting you into the next decade of your life, which I also agree. I feel like 30 is clarity of like what I don't want. Yeah. And I've learned a lot from my 20s of like, oh, I've seen how this goes with the way that I was doing it. And now let's change it up because this is not how I want to do the next 10 years. But I will say, and I don't know if you can relate to this or many people can relate to this, but this is my truth, is that my 20s, I worked relentlessly so that I could kind of have a little bit more wiggle room in my 30s where like I had friends that were partying and friends that were just kind of like not caring about career, but all I cared about in my 20s was building and videos and career.
And you set yourself up.
Yeah. And in the time, it was probably like, okay, this is a little much. She's a workaholic, which true. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm kind of grateful for that part of myself that's like, oh, then I took 2 years off. I took like basically a 2-year gap year after burnout to like really get clear on what I wanted to do in the future and like get my direction right to go forward. Like I was super privileged in that realm because I put so much work in of being like, oh, I can't afford this.
For sure.
Versus like just partying a ton, which like would have been fun. But now I'm doing that
but now you're partying with a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So honestly, I feel great about it.
I mean, and I can tell that you genuinely are having a good time.
It's more fun to have fun.
I agree.
I was not having fun before. I was not having fun.
When you say that, what specific time of your life are you referencing?
Just like in the 20s, I was having fun because of, I didn't grow up with a lot of resources. So when I started doing YouTube and started getting more exposure in terms of like Hollywood situations, I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Like brand deals and money I've never seen before.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, what are you doing this for? And I was just going so fast that I wasn't in control of the direction. It was just kind of like omnipresent of like, I need to be everywhere. I need to be doing everything.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think a lot of YouTubers feel that.
And now that you're growing, you're like, for what?
For what? Like literally, what do I like? What lights me up? What's really exciting to me specifically?
Yeah.
To where if this is my one life experience as this person, spiritual.
That's facts.
Then what do I want to do now to enhance the betterment of the future?
I think that's what you learn in your 30s. You're like, you learn that for what?
For what?
For 20s, you're like, I should do it all.
Yeah.
And then in the 30s, you're like, why?
For what?
Cool. It might have been fun. It might have not been fun. But as you get older, you're like, I don't need to experiment anymore. I did it. I'm cool. Now it's like, where's my time going?
100%. Something that stuck with me this past week is a podcast I was listening to, and they're like, if I'm going to make videos for the next 10 years, what am I going to do now that's going to set me up to where in 10 years I'm still going to like it? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's such a cool way of thinking. I feel like when I first started YouTube, I don't know if you relate, but like it was just like get the most you can out as quick as you can and just be consistent.
That's like sounds like OnlyFans. Just like start it, get everything you can for a year and then get out of there.
Right. Yeah. But it's like, nah, man. I think there's so much going on in the world and there's so much entertainment and there's so many people that can do what you can do anything. So why don't you do something that's going to actually enhance the world, yourself, and anyone that comes in contact with it?
Life is short, man. Do what makes you happy.
100p.
Show your other foot now.
For $0 again.
On the next episode, we're gonna get that other foot out, y'all.
I can't wait for you to have some money in your wallet, Tim Chantarangsu.
Me too. Hey, y'all. Thank you for watching. Hey, Meg Watoon. Thanks for tipping.
Tim, thanks for tipping. See you next time.
Bye.